What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over how to price smaller signs. We're going to talk about stock signs, personalized, and custom. So let's get started.
All right guys, so we're going to go into what we call three different tiers of pricing. The first one is going to be stock, the second one is going to be personalized, and the third one is going to be totally custom. And what category these signs will fit into will be determined by how much control that the customer has over the design of the signs. So let's get into those and let's break these down and tell you what fits in those three categories. Here we go. The first tier of pricing, we're going to go over the least expensive of the three tiers that we're going to talk about. And what we're talking about here is stock signs. Now, stock signs in our vernacular is anything that you can make over and over and you can batch them out. So it might be the We the People sign, it might be the Gone Fishing sign, it might be the Live to Ride sign, but something that you can make a bunch of them at a time, and they're not there's no special wording or anything on there. Now this should be your least expensive signs because you're going to have less time involved in making these from an individual basis. So what we're going to use here from a pricing standpoint is just to give you an example. Your pricing on the tiers might be completely different than this. It might be lower, it might be higher, but we're saying on stock signs somewhere between $35 and $50 a square foot. And again, that's going to be the least priced tier of what we're talking about today. So the more effort, obviously, the more effort that you have putting into a sign, the higher the pricing is going to be. So this pricing, this type of sign, what we call stock, would be where the customer really has zero input in the design and making of the sign. It's something that it's an impulse item. They see it, they buy it, and they walk away with it. Or they see it online, either way, wherever you're selling, but it's something that you pre-design, you pre-make up, they like it, they pay you for it, boom, they're gone.
All right, so the second tier is personalized signs. Now, the difference between stock and personalized is where they're putting their wording on your standard sizes. So we recommend everybody to have anywhere from 4 to 6 standard sizes. Mine, when I'm carving on site, are 4x18, 4x24, 6x18, 6x24, and 6x30, okay? And also, the edges are already done. So when you carve on site, I have all my boards all cut and edged, and the edges are painted and everything. Personalized basically means that the customer puts their last name and maybe a piece of artwork that I already have. A bear or a deer in a tree or whatever. So a good idea on pricing on these is anywhere from $50 to $65 a square foot. Now I know we're kind of beating a dead horse here, but again, the pricing is going to depend on where you're at, how much your material costs where you're at, all that different stuff. This is just an idea. This is right around where I'm at when I carve on site. Another area of personalization is painting. Maybe they want a piece of artwork that I already have, but they want it colored. So that'll raise the price just a little bit, not a whole lot, because it's not going to be something huge.
So the last tier that we're talking about is custom. This is the one where the customer really has the most input in what you're doing. It may be a special size, it might be a special material, it might have special artwork. So on the custom, as an example, the tier for this, we're talking about $65 a square foot and up, and it might be 2 or 3 times that depending on the complexity of the actual sign that you're doing. For instance, the Chill Harder sign that we did for Coors Light, that thing, there's so many aspects of that sign that were completely unstandard. The board, the size, the shape, the finishing, when there's resin on it, the painting, the artwork, everything on that, the power carving, everything on that is an example of like the highest tier pricing. Again, the 65 and up is just what we're using as an example. You might be at a different price point, but we're just using these in context of each other so you guys can get an idea. Okay, so one thing to remember is these tiers that we've been talking about, they're basically set up as an example, your situation and your goals for your business or hobby might be completely different than that. Maybe you just are doing this and you want to give your signs away, but maybe you want to just do it as a hobby and pay for some material or tools and buy some fishing gear. Or maybe you want to have a full-fledged business. So you have to figure out where your tiers are. This is just an overall overview of what we think is a good starting point for you.
So one thing to remember also is that the better your setup is, the faster you can make your signs, the faster you can lay them out. We really like the stencils. The We the People stencil, the Gone Fishing was a huge seller during the Black Friday. Yeah. You throw that on the board, you spray it, and your layout's done. And this really, really goes into play for stock signs, but also personalized signs. The arches, if somebody wants their last name, but they want it in an arch, instead of spending 20 minutes figuring out the perfect arch, you throw it on there and you lay it out.
Right.
So I'm going to put a link in the description for our website, the arch sets, different stencils and stuff like that. And remember, the faster you can do your layout, the more competitive you can make your prices.
So like Ryan was saying, the faster you can make your product, the cheaper it's going to be for the customer, and you can factor that in when you're figuring out your 3 tiers. Again, guys, this is just kind of the way we do things. You might have a different process that works better for you, but this at least gives you something to go by. This is a question we get all the time, is how do I price my signs? This is the second in a series. If you haven't seen the first video on this series, we'll put a link in the description below, and that's on big custom signs.
So guys, we appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you get notified when we got a new video, and it's 3 times a week. So we got a lot of stuff to share.
Some really great videos coming up, some big projects. So stay tuned, guys. If you have any questions, email me, Eric@makeawoodsign.com.
Or me, Ryan @makeawoodsign.com. And again, guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it.
We love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.